going on, everyone? Shots with Cola here, and this is my show, Cola Tack Talk, and this is where I'm going to talk about just random different stuff. There's something new with the gun community, like legislation, stuff like that, covered there. Some kind of new training, a channel that's covering something that's good information, good for everybody, right? This is going to be the place where I kind of share that stuff, and right now it's brand new. There's not a whole lot going on. I don't have any subscribers or anything, but it may grow into something. It may not, but this is where the home for the videos that probably I'm not going to put on my firearm channel because it's not necessarily directly related to a review or an accessory, something like that. This is going to be kind of like the discussion page, whether it's about firearm creators, not content, but if it's about like firearm creators, content creators, or new legislation that passes that is BS, or new legislation that passes that's good, which is very rare. But yes, this is kind of the home for it. If you want to support my channels, like I created a clothing line. I haven't gotten the samples delivered here yet. I got some shirts made. I have a founding member shirt for Shots with Cola. I've got the regular Shots with Cola shirt, and then I got some stickers. So if you want some stickers, yeah. Or honestly, if you go through, there's a lot of, I'll tag, like if I do a SIG P365 video, I'll tag like a holster, and the holster will be kind of, you know, you get commissions off of crap like that. So it helps the channel and you get yourself something that you would pay the normal price. It's not like there's a markup on it. So that was kind of cool. So not just me though, but if you see other creators that you support and you see that they tag a product, understand that that will help their channel. And that's really cool because a lot of times people want to support their content creators. And there's things like Patreon and stuff. A lot of them do Patreon. I don't. I created one, but I just couldn't see the value in trying to charge people money for the same content that is free. I guess I don't really have a good understanding of how it works exactly. Today I want to talk about Shawn Ryan in Vigilance Elite. He was a YouTuber when I first started getting into firearms, and I was trying to educate myself, right? Because so I picked up this pistol. So a little bit of backstory, right? I had some like 22 rifles and stuff when I was younger. And then, I had this short brief period in the Army where I had an M4. I didn't have any like handguns or anything like that. I did when I was 16. I wasn't supposed to have this. There was a kid that we lived near, and he sold me a 357 snub nose with a shaved serial, which I didn't keep for very long because obviously you can get a lot of trouble for that. At the time, I didn't know anything about guns. I just knew you had to be 18 to have one. I didn't know you had to be 21 to have a pistol. And I wasn't 18 yet. I think I was like 15 or 16. And I was like, well, I really want this. So I gave him $300 and he handed it to me. And I was like, all right, cool. And then someone was like, yo, you can go to prison for that. And I was like, damn. So I got rid of it. I'm going to leave it at that. But other than for that, so my first real legal purchase of a firearm was like this Taurus G2C. It was what was cheap. It's what I could afford. And so I bought it, and I didn't know much about firearms. I went with my buddy to his family, had some land, and we plinked for a couple hours. I think we bought like 1,000 rounds of steel case and like 500 rounds of brass. I sunk a lot of money, more than I did in the gun, in ammo, because I was like, I want to know exactly how to use this thing to the best of my ability. If I'm going to have a handgun, I'm going to be efficient, right? And so I bought this thing, and we went and shot a ton of ammo, and it actually turned out my favorite because we did buy like 1,000 rounds of steel case, and it was going to be split in half and half with me and my buddy. My buddy bought a Ruger Security 9 Compact. Well, it turns out the Security 9 Compact can't run steel case. So we had all that steel case and only I could run it. And so the Taurus G2C got a real serious break in that day. I want to say we did like 1,500 rounds the first day. And yeah, it all ended up going through the Taurus G2C because his gun was basically inoperable. Every time you shot around a steel case, the casing would swell up in the barrel and it wouldn't allow it to extract. So couldn't even use his gun. In fact, I think it got wedged and we couldn't get it out because we didn't have anything with us at the time. Because, we just bought our handguns. We didn't know about being prepared for, you might need to shove something down the barrel to knock out the casing. And, but anyway, so when I got this, I really wanted to be as efficient as possible. Training was always very serious to me, right? Because, when you're in the Army, that's what you do. You train, you repeat, you repeat, you repeat. And so I took that into my personal life. When I want to become really good at something, I repeat it over and over and over until I determined that I have mastered what I considered mastered, whatever I'm trying to do. And so in that process, I started searching for YouTubers that had good training. And I found like War Poet Society. He was kind of doing more training. I don't. His stuff's way different now. I mean, a lot of them are way different now. Um, but I found Shawn Ryan show, which wasn't Shawn Ryan show. It was like Vigilant Elite, and he had like a few different drills where he was just going over things and ways to, be as improved as possible, ways about like carrying in the chamber. So his video about carrying one in the pipe actually was the deciding factor of me carrying one in the pipe with concealed carry. Now I had to make sure I trusted my firearm, that it wasn't gonna discharge. There's like a test that I do with all guns now when I carry them to make sure that they don't decide to P320 on me. And even my P320's never P320'd on me. But so I got into it and everything, and then I started watching some videos, and watching those videos. I already loved video creation at this time. I had already started a motorcycle channel that I did like car stuff, and I kind of just gave it up because I had kids, couldn't afford it, and I already liked video creation. So I started watching these YouTubers like Shawn Ryan, and I had a lot of respect for him because he's an ex-SEAL. I mean, you should have respect for people like that, right? I mean, I guess some people out here are just assholes and they don't. Now he has turned his show. He got into a situation. He was doing training stuff, and then he got hired to train Keanu Reeves for John Wick 3 or something like that. And apparently he got some serious backlash from the community. Just people just dogging him about doing that. I don't know if it was about the style of training he did or the fact that he did it, which is absurd. Everybody's got to get their bread from somewhere, right? Like everybody's got to make money. This dude is a big enough deal to where famous actors are wanting him to train them. Why would he get dogged on? I thought that was kind of crazy, but whatever. I digress. So I started watching his interviews because he started doing the podcast thing. And I've been knowing he's been doing the podcast thing. I've never been one to watch somebody just sit there and talk like without any kind of, I guess it's the ADHD in me. I got to see like range footage and this and that and this. So I never really just sat down and watched podcasts like Joe Rogan, none of that stuff. I just never sat down and watched it. But I decided one day, I was just chilling. My wife started working third shift, so I've got a little bit of free time at night, and I'll just be laying in bed. I'm like, what do I watch? What do I do? Because you be with somebody for 10 years and they're there every night. You've got your hangout buddy, but when they start a third shift job, you're just kind of like, kids are in bed. I'm just kind of here. So I decided one day I was like, I'm gonna watch the Shawn Ryan show. Let's see what's going on. I got a lot of respect for this guy. He's a real actual person that did some shit in life, and so I started watching it and I started seeing what he was working on, because at this time the Epstein stuff is kind of blowing up and everything, and I'm getting kind of like, I'm looking into it and I'm like, what the hell's going on in the world? And then I saw the people he was interviewing, the kind of stuff he's trying to uncover, the things that he's put his neck out on the line to fix. And like, you've got people like, he's trying to go after Roblox. He's trying to go after people with the Epstein files. And he's doing things. And the most recent one, he had this kid named Schlep on the show. And this is a 22-year-old gamer. He's like plays Minecraft or Roblox. He plays Roblox. And this kid's been groomed, right? And so these adults, essentially, if you're not familiar with what grooming exactly is, right? So these adults are doing things like, talking perverted to these kids. And then they'll be like, hey, I know that you don't have it, but if you want this character pack on this game, or if you want this, I'll buy it for you. But you got to send me something. And then they'll ask them for like their license. They'll ask them for nudes or whatever, right? And these kids, they're just thinking, whatever. I mean, I get to get this game. I've been wanting whatever this item is. Kids are easily influenced. They're malleable. Their brains are very malleable. You can make children do things that, an adult would be like, what? No, dude, what? But these kids are like, $10 is huge to them. $10 is a lot of money. My kids, for instance, I can be like, hey, I'll give you $1 if you clean your room. And they'll be like, oh, absolutely. I'm sitting here like, dude, I'll give you $1 just to quit talking to me. Like, kids will do things. And so these guys, these predators, are taking advantage of them. Schlepp was one of those kids. I don't know his exact situation of how he got into it, but there was this this dude that was a face for Roblox, and he was one of their devs. So he was dev is a developer, so he's like helping creating these mini games inside this game. He doesn't work directly for Roblox, but it's like a hired contractor in a sense, right? You're subbing work out. You get these developers that create little mini games, and then Roblox is like, "Yep, we're making this part of the game. That's okay." And that's who this guy was, and he was kind of like a face for Roblox. And Roblox decided to cease and desist the child that was groomed, the victim. They're protecting the the right, and they're sitting there and attorneying up and stuff, and getting these influencers that are trying to expose it and shutting them up and protecting their customer base, the people that are out here, the sickos, probably work for our government style people, right? And so Shawn Ryan is doing a lot to uncover this stuff, and he attorneyed and got his attorney to talk to the Schlepp's attorney, and they were like, "Well, I can't say the name, but you can." And so this guy who groomed this kid, right? He's Kevin Nolan or something like that from Ireland, and if he's not scared, like you've got a seal. Your name is in the mouth of a SEAL. Even though, Shawn Ryan might not be SEAL Team 6, I guarantee he's gonna. I know everybody thinks that they're a fucking badass. Everybody's just a badass. I know how that works. Everybody is just tough as crap, and you're full of it, right? Most people against train, and I saw it because I know people that train for MMA, and then I saw like how easily a standard civilian can just get wrecked by anybody with the slightest amount of training. Even the toughest people in the world just absolutely just don't stand a chance against somebody with proper training. And so this guy, I don't know. I couldn't find him. I tried to find some information about him. I really couldn't find too much. And I haven't done any heavy searching. But yeah, so he's calling these people out, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And Shawn Ryan, and I guess right now in the beginning episodes of what I'm doing on this channel, I'm going to find people that I like what they're doing, and I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to spread awareness. I know that they're way larger than I am, right? But if I find one person that hasn't found that channel and they see this and they're like, let me go check that out, and they can support this creator that's doing like these purposes, like, where I said Trench Grenade, he's got a community he's building. He's trying to train the civilians, which is a huge necessity in the world we live in right now. We got Shawn Ryan, where he's trying to expose these elites, and he's actually willing to be that voice, but also he can back it up. He's not just somebody behind a screen that's going to run their mouth. He can back it up, and he's got the money to do it, which is freaking dope. Which is so dope that someone with that kind of mentality has that ability, because it's not very common that you get that. And so I'm going to find these people and make videos about them, spread awareness, even if it reaches one person. If one person finds this video and they found him and they didn't know about Shawn Ryan, then my job is done. That's what my goal is. The people that I support, I'm going to try to make videos and spread their name. So Trench Grenade, definitely somebody I'd check out. Grand Thrum. I don't think I think everything's going on Trench's channel. So I think Trench Grenade. Grand Thumb's huge. I mean, everybody knows Grand Thumb. And then Shawn Ryan, he's huge too. I'm not saying he's not. He's multi-million subscriber account. He blew up. He was like 80,000 subscribers when I found his channel. He was like the size of Trench's channel, and now he's in multi-millions, which is absolutely insane. But good for him. I'm very happy when I see people like that deserve, that level of success. And yeah, so I'm gonna just keep on going like that, and we're gonna keep finding these people that are doing work that I think is absolutely necessary for the world we live in. And people that are trying to make the United States a better place, because that we have to make. If you're seeing kind of a repeat here, we have to make the US a better place. We have let our country get to where we're controlled by criminals, child, touchers. It's just horrible, horrible individuals are running the U.S. and a lot of the world, and we got to stop it. And no one's coming. So I mean, I've checked. Like people have asked, like, "Hey, is anybody in other countries? Their countries thinking about stepping in and getting involved with our government?" They're like, "No, it's your problem. You figure it out." They're not coming. No one's coming. We're gonna have to do it. The civilians are gonna have to do it. And everybody's like, "Oh, I don't want to get my hands dirty." Well, you enjoy it. We're over here screwing around in Iran, and our gas prices are getting ready to go up. Trump's answer was, "Well, oh well, yeah, of course you don't fucking care. I mean, what is $80 in the gas tank to you? That's pennies. $80 in the gas tank to me is an eighth of my bank account, and that's on a good day, right? So sometimes I don't even have $80 in my bank account that I'm allowed to spend. Like, yeah, so we're gonna have to fix it, guys. We're gonna have to fix it. No one's gonna do it for us. And it sucks, and like I said, I've got a firearm channel, link in the description below. I got a motorcycle channel where I brought this up, and it didn't get much feedback. Guess nobody really cares that we're gonna have to be the ones. I mean, somebody's gonna have to do it, and it's gonna have to be us. Like nobody else is coming in to do it. And I'm sure there's gonna be a bunch of people that are just too. They're gonna be sitting on their ass. They're not gonna get off their ass. They're not gonna get involved. They don't want to. They don't want to get their hands dirty. They're, oh no, I'm okay with this as long as it doesn't affect my life any. Yeah. So there's gonna be some of those people. We're gonna have to step together. We're gonna have to fix our country. Eyes are on us now. We're gonna have to fix it. It's gonna start with our government. So that's what I got for you. I'm gonna start looking into other ideas for this channel. I'm excited for the free place to talk. Like there's no eyes on it right now, so I can just kind of talk how I want to. My firearm channel, if I say something stupid, somebody's gonna say something, right? I don't have a huge amount of subscribers, but I got over 6,000. So there's a decent bit of people that watch that stuff, and if I say something stupid or wrong, people judge it. On here, there's nobody. Right now, I'm it. I have one subscriber, and it's my firearm channel. So um, I'm kind of free to talk how I want to, and it's kind of nice. But I would like this to get somewhere where we can have discussions about this stuff, discussions about the world, discussions about the U.S., and discussions on how we can make it better. And also to, bring out the heroes that are doing what they can to make it better. And to people like Trench Grenade, to people like Shawn Ryan, we appreciate you. That's what I got. I will see you guys on the next one.